What is up, everybody? It is time for TNA Impact Wrestling, not the show, just the review. We just talk about it. We can't show you the actual show. We'll get flagged, get taken down. Bam, see ya, bye, out of here. And we can't have that. So we're going to talk about it, have a discussion about TNA Impact Wrestling tonight. I misspelled Hardy's on the title. I'll do that differently next time. But
It says Heritage.
shut up. It does not say Heritage. It says Hardy's at this point in time that someone's watching it because they're going to know. I'll change it in a minute. But anyway,
Heritage?
we got Heritage Revenge tonight. Heritage, formerly known as Jeff Hardy, his revenge.
You got a lot of hair, so I guess you can get hair.
True, that is true. So we got a video package on Hardy, not Hardy, excuse me, spelling issues. Hardy's Revenge. That's kind of the main theme of the night. It was kind of focused around James Storm and Jeff Hardy. I know recently we've had video packages that kind of focused on every piece of the show, whereas this one kind of focused more on James Storm and Jeff Hardy. So Ryan, any thoughts on this video package we had early?
Not really. Anything I have to say can come after we talk about the promo.
All right. Casey, thoughts on the video package?
I mean, after the NXT review, I hate video packages, so I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, because they stacked it in the NXT this week for some reason. 2 matches. Wow. But next we got a James Storm with Koya, and he had a nice Revolution flag. They cut a promo inside of the 6 sides of steel. I thought this was actually going to be the match. I know Ryan said, how is this going to be the main match of the night if it's the first match? But Storm says tonight it's supposed to be Jeff Hardy's revenge. He said, you can chant all you want. I hate to disappoint you, but Jeff Hardy's not here, which doesn't really work with the fact that we already know, because since they want to put it in video packages the week prior. He says, I did what I wanted to do. I crippled Jeff Hardy. Last week I put out Matt Hardy. We're not here to play games, talking about the Revolution, obviously. He says, either you're Nexus or either you're with us, you're with the Revolution, or you get beat up by the Revolution. This is what he's known for. He says, but I helped him, talking about diving off of the cage and all the craziness that Jeff Hardy does. He says he helped him dive off the top of the cage onto some steps and out of action for a little bit. He says, this is Jeff Hardy right here. He takes a random watermelon just out of nowhere. I don't think watermelon is in season yet. But he takes a watermelon and just throws it over the cage. It explodes. That poor lady in the front row, her feet must have been covered with watermelon juice, and I feel bad. But Jeff Hardy comes out. He says, Storm, you did what nobody has ever done. You knocked me out. He says, there's a famous match of mine, and there was a famous line from this match. I'm still standing. Crowd goes, woo! Crowd was hyped. He basically says he's standing, he's really standing, he's rocking standing with all the support he has. He said the wait is over, the time is now, so let's lock ourselves in and end the revolution. But as he says that, we know that the revolution can't end. Come on, it's the most dangerous faction ever in life. So Manic comes out, attacks from nowhere, not like low key, just jumping out of nowhere, but Manic just comes from behind and attacks from nowhere. He says, there's always room for one more. That's James Storm. Manic gets beat down because, Jeff Hardy's the man. Super Jeff Hardy. Abyss comes out and attacks. We get chair shots to Abyss. Then Hardy says, lower the roof. Tonight is about Hardy's revenge. As the roof is lowering, we see a bunch of weapons, and we're excited because, we can lock down kind of a little bit. So I was definitely excited to see a lot of weapons. Because a lot of times with a cage match, you get the cage, the people in it, and that's about it. But this one, you got some weapons involved, so that kind of piqued my excitement. So, Ryan, you got any thoughts on the promo?
Yeah, I don't like how they promo the match in earlier weeks and then expect us to be surprised when Jeff Hardy comes back. That crap all the time in TNA. And it bugs me. I liked the ceiling coming down with all the weapons and everything. That got me excited too. And I just love I love Jeff Hardy. I love Jeff Hardy on the mic. I love when he tries to start chants and it doesn't really work out all the way. Like it takes him a few tries to get the crowd to understand what he's trying to chant. But he's got it. He's Jeff Hardy and he's the charismatic enigma, so people are gonna listen to what he says. But yeah, this got me really excited for the night and for the match itself. Glad it didn't happen first. Thought that was dumb.
All right, Casey, you got any thoughts on the promo? I mean, I know you weren't happy because it wasn't a match because NXT just ruined life for you at this point, video package wise and promo wise and such. So, you got any thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, with the Hardy's Revenge chant, Jeff needs to take a class on starting chants. They have to somehow rhyme a little bit for it to work. This one just was doomed to fail from the start, and he still tried, and, oh my god. The only thing I could really think during this segment was, like, okay, are they keeping the cage up for the entire show, or are they taking it down just to put it back up again? Because that seems like a waste of time and energy. It just didn't make sense to me. But I thought it was a good opening segment to get, us excited for. What y'all laughing at?
I'm changing the name from Hardy to Hardy, and I still ended up putting Hardy. So, the issues.
He went to backspace the I, he backspaced the R, so it just said Hades Revenge. Oh man. Struggling right now. NXT was just too much for me today. So, but next we got basically renewing of the crowning of a new X Division champion. Woo! And it's not Ric Flair. It's actually Rockstar Spud. So, I got it.
With the lip thing that Spud does. So that was nice to see. And then after that we got a backstage segment with the BDC, and they said, sadly, we've lost Joe. Unfortunately, we've lost the X Division title, but basically we're going to get it back. The Rockstar Spud thing we already knew about, but the Joe thing, like I said last week, it was his last week. They didn't really write him off. I think they kind of wrote him off in this thing. They didn't really give a reason, which I was kind of surprised about. They didn't give a reason why he was gone, like at least like some kind of like kayfabe or whatever reason why he was gone. I was kind of expecting some sort of reason, just, oh my God, Joe, he's dead, but he's not dead. He's fine. But I'm not really sure, why they didn't do something tonight at least to do something about that. But that's fine. Ryan, you got any thoughts on the crowning of a new champion or the BDC?
Yeah, Joe Spud. Woo! But yeah, I agree that they should have given Samoa Joe some kind of exit other than just he's gone. It's just weird. He was like, before he left, we thought of this before he left, they like started giving him more story space and started giving him more to talk about, and then they just kind of cut him out after he left. So I feel like if they knew that was, I don't even know if they knew that was going to happen, that he was going to leave, but if they knew he was going to leave, they probably shouldn't have put him in the story as much. I mean, he's pretty interchangeable in what his role was in the BDC, so they could have given that role to Low Key or to anyone else. Wish they'd written him out better. But yeah, BDC's coming back as if they're going to take Spud's title.
All right, Casey, you got any thoughts on this?
The other thing I didn't like is that they said, oh, they lost Joe, but they didn't explain, like, how they lost Joe or what happened. So, like, if you don't know, like, the inner workings of the business or, like, that he left, you're kind of like, wait, what happened?
What happened to Joe?
What? Like, they didn't explain it enough, so it's like, it's gonna fail. But they talk about how they're gonna supposedly get the X Division title back, but nothing really.
All right, so next we got Storm. He's backstage with Koya. He is not happy, obviously. I don't think James Storm is ever happy at this point. I mean, he just needs to get back to drinking beer. He'd be fine. Just add a little beer in the storyline, it'll be fine. But backstage with Corey, he says he wants him to find Jeff Hardy, expose Jeff Hardy. He wants him to dispose of Jeff Hardy. He says that's what I brought you here for. He says if you do not dispose of Jeff Hardy, I will dispose of you. So James Storm giving some heavy orders. Any thoughts on that, Ryan?
This whole promo, I was thinking, it's just Corey talk. Is he ever gonna talk? And then at the end, he's like, "Whoa!" Or he's like, "Yeah!" Or just like screams whatever in all the word he said. But I was like, yeah, Corey's getting some mic time. I was excited for him.
Yes, Koya's mic time.
It's about as good as Eddie Edwards, right? Like, it's about as good as the Wolf.
I don't have anything necessarily to say about this, but I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw this, but TNA actually made a really smart move by releasing the Best of Sting DVD right around Mania when they know, he has his first match in WWE at Mania. So I just thought that was kind of a smart thing that they did. They don't always do smart things, but hey, they got this one. So that should boost their sales of that DVD at least, But yeah, Koya.
That's about it.
Alright, so next we got a X Division title match. Obviously, you got your boy, Rockstar Spud. And you got going up against Low Key.
Looks like Diddy Kong.
Who, looks like Diddy Kong. Low Key, always trying to establish his pace, that kind of slow pace, but he knows how to speed up when he needs to. He's dropping strikes on Spud. He doesn't care about Spud. Whether he's bald, has hair, or whatever, he doesn't care. Spud trying to come back, but Key just shuts it down every single time. It seems like every time Spud was getting momentum, Key was like, nah, bro. But we get that over-aggression by Low Key, which kind of gives Spud a little bit of momentum. He does the flip-flop and fly, or at least he tries to. That's reverse. We get an underdog attempt, but the BDC comes out. They don't interrupt the match, but they come out as, like, distraction. But Galloway comes out, and he kind of distracts the BDC. Spud gets the roll-up for the win. I like the side Pele kick that Spud kind of does. I'm a fan of that. And that Tornado DDT was ridiculously epically greatly badly good. It was I can't even word.
I said, ooh, damn. Those are two things I said.
Alright, any thoughts on that, Ryan? Rockstar Spizzle?
Yeah, Rockstar Spud. Keep him title like he's supposed to, because he's the man. He's going to have it forever until he decides he doesn't want it anymore and gives it away, because he can't lose. Rockstar Spud. But yeah, that Tornado DDT was the best. It was hot. And Drew Galloway, I like to hear him talk to. I like him on the mic. Yeah, he said something I really liked. I don't remember what.
It might be in the promo. The promo's next, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Casey, you got any thoughts on the X Division title picture?
First of all, it's weird for me watching a match where Low Key looks big compared to his opponent. That just threw me off. I was like, what? He looks big. Holy crap. No, but it was a good match. The only thing I don't like is that Spud is always booked as the underdog, which is okay, but if it's always that way, I feel like it could hurt his career. I feel like he needs a few just kind of competitive matches where, there's not an underdog theme to it. Even Low Key in his early career got just competitive matches, even though he was smaller. But I like that Galloway came out to kind of distract the BDC, so they didn't steal a win. I hope they do something with him and Spud, since they said, bye-bye, Mandrews, you ain't gonna be on TV ever again, even though you're awesome, and you would bring money to the company. But no, we're not gonna use you, because we're smart.
Well, Mandrews will be on TV in the near future. Thanks, Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
now we get a BDC promo. And MVP says, Drew Galloway, you want to sell? You want to sell to all these flat scans on doing things the right way. He says, were you doing things the right way when you screwed me out of my World Heavyweight Championship spot? Was it fair that you attacked Low Key? He says, you will understand when you're in the hospital. You love to come out here. I thought it said flat scans again. You love to come out here and pander to all these fans. I suggest you come in here, or we will come out there and start slapping around some of those flat scans out there. You know, talking about the fans, obviously. He said a lot of things, so I may get confused on some of this. He said a lot because MVP is a talker. Drew comes back. He's at the top of the ramp. He says, "I know what you're thinking. Either Drew is the toughest man alive or the dumbest man." He says, "Well, I might be a little bit of both." He says, "I could have given up, but I will never lay down. I've decided to stand up." He says, "Now I'm going to see who's willing to stand up with me tonight." He starts asking questions to the fans. Obviously, the fans are like, "Yay, me," you know. So they're excited to be involved. King says, he says that these people are willing to stand up and we have a movement. King says, a movement? Other than these ugly, grotesque losers out here, that's the only real people you have following you anyway. He says, come get this beat down and we'll bring it to you. And then, you know, Drew's not backing down. So he comes in and he gets two people from the crowd, two random people. I'm not sure who they are. Casey said one looked like Darren Young, which was true. And they went to attack the BDC. Drew grabs the mic again. He says, pro wrestling, professional wrestling, this is it. This is us standing up. This is the Rising. So I guess that's the name of the faction that they have. So, Brian, any thoughts on the Rising?
Nothing really that hasn't already been covered.
All right. Casey, thoughts on the Drew Galloway, Darren Young, and other guys?
Well, you know, kind of cool that Darren Young can be in two companies at the same time. You know, I'm just excited to see what they do with this new group because, you know, I know obviously you and I are excited because we like guys that we don't know, you know, coming in. You know, we don't like the just guys from other companies. We like fresh faces, so I feel like that's what we're getting with this faction. And if they're gonna stand up to the BDC, that's always good.
All right. So next, we get a video package, and it's on basically Awesome Kong's dominance and her one for the title. I think, you know, I was looking into this video package, and I thought like it was edited very, very well to make her look strong, and you know, the voiceover that was used for her, because I don't think she really sounds like that, but you know, it made her sound like she was, you know, a killer, you know, so that was cool. And then we get the BDC backstage. MVP is kind of, you know, he's the calm one for once, but Kenny King, the hothead that he is, he says, "What's going on? You know, I don't understand." MVP says, "Relax. They want to play the numbers game. That's what we do best." He says, "It's time for me to make that call." He's ready. Don't worry, he's ready. So somebody else is joining the BDC, obviously to take Joe's place. So it's going to be interesting to see who that's going to be. If that's going to be a new face, or if that's going to be like some sort of return, or
Shark Boy.
You know, probably not going to be Shark Boy. But Ryan, you got any thoughts on the BDC backstage and Kong's video package?
I like Kong's package a lot. I agree with what you said about how it made her look really, really tough and really made her look like a legit championship contender. Good. But yeah, the BDC, I can't wait to see who they have coming in. I'm excited. I hope it's someone who can replace Joe and doesn't just. I hope it's not EY. Probably EY. Probably EY.
He, you know, he might get one of the flat scans out the crowd, you know.
One of those flat scans.
But Casey, you got any thoughts on those two moments?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's going to be a new guy that they're going to bring in. I think, from what I heard, his name is Samoa Jim. You know, they're trying to keep with the theme. They're just going to call him Samoa Jim. No, but I don't. I like the Awesome Kong promo. It was pretty cool. But uh, I don't really care that they're bringing somebody else into the BDC this quick. I don't like that that they're just automatically like replacing him. I felt like they should go on with it for a couple weeks where they're kind of struggling without him and then bring somebody in. I feel like that would kind of build it up a little bit better. Besides just immediately calling somebody, like, um, but we'll see who it is. Hopefully it's somebody good.
Yeah, definitely hoping for that. So next we got a knockout match. We got it's gonna be Mandrews is Ryan's prediction corner of Ryan Mandrews. But next we got Brooke versus Awesome Kong. You know, Brooke comes out and she's obviously trying to use that speed against Kong's not so much of speed. She gets the advantage for a bit, but just thrown away because Kong. What do you think you're doing? I am Awesome Kong, don't it? Awesome is in my name. Kong with a nice catching power slam. She starts to stand on Brooke's hair because she don't care about Brooke's hair. You know, she don't care. So Brooke is trying everything. She's trying to knock down Kong, springboard, front flips, back flips, whatever is gonna get the job done. But it's not happening because Kong is too big. Kong going for a power bomb, but she gets hit with a nice face buster. I thought that looked nice. Maybe the way, a little bit of both from both angles. We get a diving elbow by Brooke as she finally gets Kong down for 2. We get a catching choke slam by Kong, and then we get the implant buster by Kong for the win. Earl tries to come in there, but she pushes him away. And we'll get to the post-match stuff here in a second. So, Ryan, any thoughts on the match?
Love that her move is called the implant buster. That is one of my favorite names for a move I've heard in recent times. Love it. Also, not mad at Brooke's shorts in this, not her trunks in this this match. Don't shake your head at me, Casey.
No, I'm shaking at the shorts. Girl.
They were pretty nice. That's all I got to say. I mean, how you gonna step to Awesome Kong? You're gonna have a bad time either way, unless you're Havoc or like Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. The Mark Henry. All right, Casey, you got any thoughts on the knockout title match? Not in this knockout match. Sorry.
Not really. I feel like TNA was just like, okay, Brooke, you're gonna come back. You're gonna be in a stupid storyline, and then immediately get destroyed by Awesome Kong. Done. Like,
Awesome.
I don't know. I hope they don't just use her as like a jobber or whatever. I hope they give her something good, but I don't. I feel like they really don't know what they're doing with their knockouts division right now, so they're kind of just throwing shit together, which is kind of what they always do anyway. But it's TNA.
All right. So after the match, like I said, Earl, you're too old, bruh. Get off of me, says Awesome Kong. She pushes him away. She goes for an implant buster again. She hits it. Kong, getting extreme, grabs the table. And then Taryn Terrell comes out because she's going to save the day. She's the champ, baby. She's going to save the day. She hits a nice missile drop kick on Kong to get her down, but not for long. Kong just no sells, gets right back up, runs at her, but falls right outside of the ring. That clumsy Awesome Kong. And then she catches Taryn Terrell and hits a nice power bomb through the table. The table broke in a weird way. She it was like her head was in the middle, and then it was an explosion. It was good. I like it though. Any thoughts on the aftermath, Ryan?
I feel like everything I say has to do with butts recently.
I know what he's gonna say.
What do I say?
Go with it. Go.
Whenever Taryn Terrell comes out, Taz is like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "How do you not know who that is?" She's the only girl in this building that doesn't have a butt.
Oh, that's.
What do you think I was gonna say?
I, did you guys not notice after at the powerbomb part you totally saw her thong? you
What?
That is true.
I
That
did
is
not.
true. That is true. Yeah.
I was like,
Got better eyes than me.
You got any thoughts on that besides that? I got the initial thought in it.
no, that's about it.
Who are you guys, Justin?
Terrence Terrell gonna win the match because
But next we got a video package on TNA World Heavyweight Championship match last week. You know, I I did like this video package just because it made Lashley. At first I thought it was gonna just show like Kurt Angle winning, but I'm glad they kind of showed both ends of it. So then if you haven't really been watching or you're not too sure about it, you can kind of see that Lashley's not a chump for tapping. So I like that it showcased a lot of different things. After that, we get a Jeff Hardy promo. He's talking, saying words, and then Koya comes from behind, out of nowhere. Arcade, no, he comes from behind and he attacks him. Jeff beats him down. Random ladder. Don't even know where it came from. You know, Jeff Hardy's got to have his ladder laying around somewhere. Random ladder. Jeff screams, "Stay down." Koya starts to get up. He hits him with a beer bottle out of nowhere. I don't know where he's getting. Got him from the trash can. That's where it was. And then Koya gets up again. He hits him with two more beer bottles. So I don't know. I feel like Jeff Hardy's handling his inner heel first heel James Storm, like before Revolution heel James Storm. It felt like maybe he was sending a message to James Storm. Obviously, sending a message beating down the guy, but in another way too. So, any thoughts on the backstage thing with Hardy and the video package?
I have a theory about Jeff Hardy that I just thought about. Jeff Hardy, I think, is a video game character, and you want to know why? Because he's so colorful. Obviously, he was made by his outfits were made by a 9-year-old who just wants to see lots of colors and lots of baggy clothes and lots of different things on a person. Also, he's got his little weapon wheel. You hold your left bumper, and then the weapon wheel comes up, and you can just pick your ladder, or you can pick your beer bottle, or you can do whatever you want. You can pick your weapon, you can just pull it out of your pants, hit people with it, and put it down. Also, that's the only thing that can explain his erratic behavior during matches. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Yeah, Jeff Hardy isn't real. He's a video game character designed by WWE to make us to excite us.
Yes. Why would WWE design to excite us? Have you seen WWE programming recently?
They made him back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, true. You got any thoughts, Casey?
First of all, I can say that he is real. I've met him multiple times. What? He's real. I've touched him. You know, it's not like that though. Not like that. No. But anyway, I felt like this segment was kind of stupid. I just felt like they really did the bottle breaking over Koya's head. Like, if they did it once, it would have been cool. But doing it, like, multiple times, it just kind of felt dumb. Like, because if you do it once, it's like, oh my god, he just broke a bottle over his head. That had to be real. But doing it multiple times, it's like, okay, enough with the, like, stunt bottles. It's just dumb. Also, I think TNA is the only company left that actually brands their ladders with TNA Wrestling on the side. Is it really necessary?
I don't know.
You gotta know.
You don't want
it's the company that uses ladders.
You don't want to get the ladders mixed up.
Yeah.
Like, what if you accidentally hit someone with a WWE ladder during TNA? Problem. Lots and lots of problems.
WWE ladders are silver, okay? There's no confusion.
And they also barely exist.
Barely.
Yeah. Like, they exist once a year. Maybe twice. That's it.
Alright, so next we got the coronation of Rockstar Angle. of Kurt Angle, actually. So we got the celebration. It was kind of made as a celebration. It was just kind of Angle in a suit, looking fly, I guess, coming out with his belt. So he says, I'm glad to say in front of you, you're new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He says, I've been on the mountaintop 13 other times. He says, this is number 14. This is number 14. He says, it has been 3.5 years. He said, it's taken a toll. He said he had to refocus his mind, his heart, his body, whatever. You got to refocus a lot of things. He says, but this has to be the proudest moment of my career so far. He says, and I promise Kurt Angle is going to defend this title, ladies and gentlemen. You know, so he got interrupted by EC3, and I was like, yes, finally!
Trouble.
All right. I feel like Ryan turns more into Justin, more so than Justin does. Like with the singing, he's probably gonna play the song here in a minute and get a flag and promote his own channel. But
how can you not sing that song?
It's a great song. I was definitely excited when EC3 came out because I've been waiting for this feud for a while. But turns out it may not be an EC3 Kurt Angle feud just yet. He says Kurt Angle, what an inspiration. He says, gosh darn it, Kurt, you inspire me. He says, once again, TNA World Heavyweight Champion, a king. You beat the Destroyer, Bobby Lashley. I'm glad he said Bobby because I thought they had his first name had just disappeared or something. So I'm glad they said Bobby. He says, you know what? It's seemingly impossible going 18 months without a loss. I put this entire industry on notice. I'm putting you on notice that I'm going to be the man who defeats you for the World Heavyweight Championship. Angle says, you actually think you're going to be the guy who takes this title from me? And Rude comes out. You know, obviously Rude's music hits. He comes out, he says, there's going to be a discussion. That discussion better involve the man who got his title stolen from him. And he has never had a fair rematch. EC3, biggest troll of life right now. He whispers to Bobby Roode, he's like, this is my moment. What are you doing? Like I was laughing so hard when he just whispering like we're not there, you know. And Roode says, I suggest you shut your mouth, Ethan. Or I knock your teeth down your throat, something like that. He says, Kurt, I have nothing but respect for you. You deserve this moment. But it's just a moment. I am the man who deserves a shot at that World Heavyweight Championship. And then EY comes out. Yeah, I probably could sing all of these scenes. EY comes out and he says, I'm gonna stop you, Bobby Roode. He says, basically, I'm gonna be the reason why you can't get the title. I'm not gonna go through all that because there's a lot of words here. Then Aries comes out. He's talking about teasing the cash in. You know, he's like, I might cash in tonight. You know, there ain't gonna be any celebration. You know, it's either me or you, Angle. You know, just saying. So he's teasing the cash in. But he pulls out a bottle of bubbly out of his, briefcase. I'm glad there's no real contract because it may have been damaged while I was in there. So, he pulls it out and talk about celebrations and such. And then Lashley comes out as Angle is walking down the ramp or back up the ramp. Lashley comes out. He says, I deserve a title shot. It's kind of one of those things where you can hear Lashley, but you can hear him from Angle's microphone, but he doesn't have a microphone. I thought he was just going to come out and stand there and just leave. He says, we can do it right now, says Angle. And then the refs come out. They break it up, obviously. And then Iris initiating the dancing of all. No, actually, he strikes and initiates a brawl. The brawl comes out. We get We Want Spud chant. And then Mr. Anderson comes out. We go to commercial. We come back, and we got a match. But first, any thoughts on the promo? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it was just like, I want the title. I want the title. And everyone comes out. Full roster. Hasn't showed up on the show yet. Time to cash in whatever claim you have to the title. And half these people don't even have a claim to the title.
Unless they're Tigre Uno, because they definitely have a claim.
Where is Tigre Uno?
He's going to be there soon.
Well, yeah.
He's got to be there soon.
He is, yeah. Wikipedia.
But, you have anything else?
No, I liked what I said. Even so, I like that you've got all these people who are like, I want the title, I deserve it, and then other people who are just like, I like EY's stake in this. It's like, I don't care about the title, I just don't want you to have it with with Bobby Roode. But yeah, like everyone comes out, everyone's like, I want the title, and Kurt's like, I don't care what y'all want, I'm out. He just ducks out. I like how he handled it.
Yeah, he's the champ. He can do what he wants. Casey, you got any thoughts on the promo?
Well, Ryan liked it, but this is the classic promo that I hate. When, one person comes out, and then another person comes out, and then another and another, and then we're like, oh, look, this is going to be a match. It's just, WWE does it too much, so basically any company that does it now, I'm like, stop. Can you just have back when I was a kid, there was this thing called a one-on-one match, where one guy would face one guy, and it could be for a title. It didn't have to be a six-man or, a triple threat. It could just be one-on-one. I want those days back. But it was an okay promo for what it was, Everyone has to get their little word in edgewise or whatever, and I just feel like I want some of the singles matches in these feuds. Like I want to see like Rude versus EY more. I want to see EC3 versus Angle. I don't want to see them all together because it's too much sometimes.
Yes, I also want to see EC3 versus Angle. Never got that. TNA. Book it now. I'm so ready because I've been waiting for so long. I need it in my life.
Also, I'm a little tired of Aries teasing his briefcase. It's getting tired. It's getting old. I feel like TNA just keeps for a lot of the stories they're doing, they tell the same story every week, where BDC's like, we're gonna take over, and then they don't do anything. And then Austin Aries is like, I'm gonna get my briefcase, and he doesn't. Just like keep giving these people the same exact promo week after week, and I just want Aries to do something with it.
We'll see.
Do something.
They have to watch WWE and wait until Rollins cashes his in, and then
Yeah, they gotta wait until a champion with nipples comes out, and then they'll switch the titles up.
Oh my gosh.
You got anything else to say?
No.
All right. Next we got EC3, Tyrus, and EY going up against Anderson, Rude, and Aries in a six-man tag match. Shout out to Teddy Long because he is probably dreaming right now. Aries and Rude try to take out EY to start out the match. We got a nice springboard elbow in this match, a backbreaker combo from Aries and Rude, showing that they have worked as a tag team before, or at least got a little bit of experience. Anderson works the arm of EC3, obviously with the brace or whatever. The brace did somehow come off in this match, but they still continue to work the arm, so that kind of tells you a little bit of where EC3, I guess, is in his healing process, I guess you could say. Tyrus overpowers Rude. EY comes in to pick up the scraps, and then we get a double headbutt that opens the door for EY to come back in because he got tagged out. He tries to go for a pile driver, but it's reversed as Austin Aries. When I see AA, I think of attitude adjustment, but Austin Aries gets back in with a hot tag. Aries takes advantage with some shots, boxing of the ears and such, but Tyrus shuts that down. EC3 gets hit with the discus forearm. Then we get the suicide dive combo. And then we get a drop kick into a spine buster. Austin goes for 450 splash, but it's reversed into a figure four on Austin Aries by EY for the win. So I like that EY used the figure four. I haven't seen him use the figure four in a while. Maybe he uses it more often, but I'm not really sure. So I thought this was a pretty decent six-man tag match. It had some good tag team moves in it. So Ryan, you got any thoughts on the six-man tag match?
I didn't see this match. I was out doing like things around the house during this match. So I didn't see it. I saw scraps of it, and it looked interesting, but I didn't get to see it.
All right. Casey, you got any thoughts?
It was okay. I didn't like that it didn't this match start during the commercial break.
Yes.
I don't like when they do that. Just because it feels like you're missing something when they do that. But it was an okay match. Obviously it was formed from the previous promo, so you knew there was a match coming up anyway. But it was okay. Wasn't anything real special, I didn't think. Um,
All right. So next we got Bram. He's coming out, and he's gonna cut a promo. He says, "Coward, coward, coward. There's a million ways to describe you, but coward is the best one." He says because you hide behind your family. You send your old lady out here to do your dirty work. She's got more balls than you will ever have. Talking to Magnus, obviously. He says, I nearly forgot your precious little baby boy. Magnus is not having that. Magnus's music hits immediately, and Magnus says, "You say another word, and this won't be a problem for these rent-a-cops or, the security, the reps, whatever." He says this will be a problem for the police because you jump me from behind, so I jump you from behind. It's an eye for an eye. It's what we do. He says, you just talk too much. Bram says, well, come fight me then. And then Magnus comes back. He says, I want to fight you anywhere and everywhere. Getting into his inner Kevin Owens. Bram says, I'm all for it. The only thing is that I don't care. The only thing I care about is seeing the tears streaming from Mickey's eyes. Mickey grabs the mic. She says, the only tears I'm gonna be crying are tears of joy. When Magnus when Magnus rips those pubes you call a beard off your face. She says, my door is always no, he comes back and he says I'm talking to you. He's talking to Mickey James, obviously. He says, my door is always open for you, darling. And Magnus is just livid at this point. He runs down, but he gets hit with a low blow. Bram grabs the turnbuckle hook. But then he says, nah, I want this girl over here. He grabs Mickey. He says, do like your husband did and kiss my boot. He says, you know what? I've got a better idea. How about you give me a big sloppy kiss? And he goes in, but Magnus hits him with a German. And then he continues to beat him down with the turnbuckle hook. Even Mickey comes in and jumps in, and she gets her shots in as well. So, continuing to build this feud through brawls. I like how aggressive this feud is, how kind of personal this feud is. It makes me really want to see more. I know they said next week they're going to have a Fall Count Anywhere match, so that's always a good thing. So any thoughts on the promo brawl type of thing going?
Yeah, I like this feud a lot. Because you've got two guys who have history together, and both of them are good on the mic, and they're just. It's not even. I wish they would have like an actual match instead of all these brawls. I wish there was like an actual match between two of them, but yeah, it's so personal. It's so personal, and they're so good on the mic, and they always drop these things in, like Mickey says, with the pubes on his face, and Magnus said a thing when Bram was talking about his son. He was talking about the police. If you say one more word about my son, I'm calling the police. And I'm like, that was a cool thing to say, Magnus. You're on right now. I really like the words they're having. I just wish there would be an actual match instead of just beating each other up all the time and beating up Mickey.
Trying to beat up Mickey. Thinking about it. Casey, you got any thoughts on this?
I just really am excited for this feud. I like, how they're building it up. I like the chemistry between the two. I like the storyline and everything. I hope, they have a, big match sometime soon. I like the build up, but if you build it up too long, it starts to get boring, and I don't want that to happen with this. But I'm excited for it.
All right, so next we got a video package basically on Jeff Hardy's craziness and all the crazy stuff he's capable of doing. And then after that, we get an angle backstage. He says, talking about Lashley, he says, I beat him once. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm the best I can be right now. He says, and I got to beat Bobby Lashley. So, cool, cool stuff there. I like the video package. I think we know Jeff Hardy's pretty out there. So,
Yep.
so we got to see a little bit of it in this one, in this video package, and then angle backstage, just ready for his match. So, any thoughts on that, Ryan?
Nah, not really.
All right, Casey.
Not really.
All right, so next we get a video package on next week's show. Usually this is the type of thing they show at the end of the show, but they showed it right before the main event tonight. And then they showed it again at the end of the show. So basically they're calling it bell to bell. We're going to have Rude versus EY one last time. They said it would be the final battle. We're going to have Brandon Magnus in a Falls Count Anywhere match and Angle versus Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So that gets me excited because that's two of the feuds that I've been kind of looking forward to. Even more build on. We just had it not too long ago, these two matches not too long ago during the Hair versus Hair show. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens. So any thoughts, Ryan, next week's show?
No, I'm excited for these matches. Rude EY, Brandon Magnus, and Angle and Lashley are all good matches, and it looks like to be a good show.
All right, Casey.
I'm excited for all the matches. I'm just kind of confused on what they mean by bell to bell. Does that mean there's gonna be no promos and bullshit? Is that hope?
Casey,
Because they didn't really explain that too much, you know. They didn't really explain why it's called bell to bell that much, you know. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, definitely. So next we got James Storm and Jeff Hardy in a lethal lockdown style of Six Sides of Steel with the roof being above the Six Sides of Steel. So that brought an interesting dynamic to it and also made it where they couldn't escape the cage. So it started out with Storm gets a shot with the trash can. Hardy quickens the pace. We get the poetry in motion using the chair. But then he goes back for it one more time, but he misses it. Hardy comes back with a nice pull-down neck breaker. James Storm going for the last call early, but it's reversing to the twist of fate. We get a swanton attempt, but Storm gets his knees up. Storm kind of sells the legs, which I like because a lot of times when someone does a diving move and you put your knees up, you would think it would hurt the person who put their knees up too. But a lot of times you don't see him really sell that much. So I like that he still sold that. We get a horrible Eye of the Storm for a near fall. I didn't like it. I think it was the way Jeff fell on it. He like kind of let it on his foot first, so it kind of braced the impact a little bit more. And we know Jeff Hardy can take an impact, so come on, Jeff. Yeah. But next we get a code breaker, lung buster combination by Storm for a 2 count. Storm grabs the cowbell because that's his weapon of choice at this point. Hardy sends Storm into the corner, in the corner steel chair. He goes and he hits the swanton. It looked like it might have been over here, but it wasn't. Near fall. Storm hits a low blow. Storm goes up top, but he gets hit by a trash can. Hardy with the hanging drop kick, where he was like hanging from the roof and he was like being a pendulum and drop kicking Storm multiple times, and then he hits a nice Hurricane Rana off of the like ceiling of the cage. And then Hardy grabs the cowbell, he hits him with it, and then he hits a twist of fate. And then Hardy's looking for some different things always to do in any match ever. So he goes up top, he kind of monkey bars a little bit to the middle of the ring. He does a pendulum splash for the win. I thought this was gonna actually be like a pendulum senton type of thing. That's what I was thinking because the swanton bomb. I was just expecting that to happen, but I'll take the pendulum slash. I still think it was cool. It wasn't as cool as the other thing would have been, but it was still pretty cool. So Jeff Hardy gets his revenge, so we think. So Ryan, any thoughts on the main event?
He said, I just feel like he didn't get. He was a good match. I liked the match. I just don't think he got enough revenge for the amount. Like he's like, I'm gonna end the revolution, and all he did was pin James Storm. I feel like he could have done more with that, with his intentions for this one. And I like the pendulum splash at the end, but I just didn't think it was a good enough punctuation for the match. Like I would have really dug a pendulum senton, pendulum something else. I liked it though. It was cool. I looked up and I'm like, what is he doing now? always is Jeff Hardy doing some ridiculous crap, monkey barn across the top of the cage. But yeah, I just think that Jeff Hardy could have been a little bit more intense with hurting James Storm in this one, because I feel like James Storm's just gonna get up after this and be like, whatever, move on to the next thing. Go beat up Koya now for not beating you up enough. That's gonna be the next promo.
I thought he was. I thought he was like. I thought that was like some kind of hole at the top of the roof that he was gonna like jump through or something. That's what I was expecting, but there wasn't. Casey, any thoughts on this?
I agree. I didn't like the that it was just a pendulum splash at the end. I was like, oh, that's it. Come on now. And I felt like they could have done more in this match. You know, they had so many weapons hanging from the roof, and they didn't use like. All they really used was like chairs and trash cans. They didn't like use the kendo stick or anything like that. The only other thing is I don't. And this is just personal, I don't like the way that Jeff does the twist of fate. I like how Matt used to do it. It used to be more like fluid. And I don't like how people take it now, because people take it now like it's a Stone Cold Stunner. And I'm like, no, it just looks, it doesn't look good when he does it anymore. But I agree with Ryan. It kind of, this was a good match, but how does this really end the Revolution? You know, it's just one match, and it wasn't even that like intense if you think about it. I just feel like there's more, or more needs to be done.
Yeah, it was definitely shorter than usual because recently I've been looking at the time. I know the hair versus hair match was 30-ish minutes, maybe 20, 25. Something like that, and even the Lashley Angle match was around that, about that amount of time too. And this match was only like 13 minutes or something like that. And that's not, so it just wasn't as long as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting Hardy to like take out some more aggression at the end or something like that, but he really didn't. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting next week because we got a pretty good show, and I guess we'll get some other things too that we're not expecting. So I'm definitely excited. So hope you guys enjoyed. Ryan was back today, so you can see his Twitter there. There it is. But hope you guys enjoyed. Follow the podcast if you like. WrestleMania review coming soon, promise. Actually, there's going to be two of them. It's going to be a big panel review and a smaller me and Casey review. So it'll be fun. See you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.